On this day in 1969, John Lennon and Yoko Ono refused to get out of bed for 1 week in protest to campaign for world peace. It seems absurd, and that's because it was, so what the fuck? Well, in pursuit of a quiet wedding, John and Yoko went to Gibraltar to get hitched 5 days prior. To satiate the press, they invited them on their honeymoon with a bed-in for peace in the Hilton's Amsterdam presidential suite. Now, I think the press turned up hoping for what would essentially be a week-long adult movie, and they were disappointed. John and Yoko literally spent the whole time sat in bed being interviewed by journalists. They handmade some terrible looking signs which said bed peace and hair peace. And it was, of course, all supposed to be tongue-in-cheek, with John saying, "It's part of our policy not to be taken seriously." The Summer of Love had just taken place 2 years prior, in 1967. The peace and love hippie movement was very much in vogue at the time. It was the year that Woodstock would take place, and the US had just increased involvement in the Vietnam War, the Cold War was raging. The world was this weird, contradictory place of war and peace, and this was just a light-hearted way of two stars making it all about them. You know, kind of like when all of those celebrities sang Imagine during the pandemic. Do you remember that? God, it was toe curling, wasn't it? So John and Yoko did another bed-in for peace for another week, beginning on the 26th of May, same year. They'd initially tried to go to New York, but they couldn't because John had got a previous conviction for jazz cabbage. So they flew out to the Bahamas to begin the bed-in, but it was far too hot for them, so they went to a place that could never be accused of that, Montreal. So, were these bed-ins successful? I mean, we've not achieved world peace, have we? So no, I guess not. But well, we are still talking about it. So in PR terms, yeah, absolutely. Would you start a revolution from your bed? I think I would, but only if it was at the Hilton's presidential suite. Thank you so much for watching. Why not subscribe? And I'll see you tomorrow.